Oh, no. Oh my God, that's how I wanted to start this episode. That's so annoying. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Peppercorn Boys.
This is late. This is not the start of the show.
Where the group
not
chat
the start of the show.
podcast.
We're an hour in.
And you will never believe what Scott said to me this morning. Scott said that he wants me inside of him.
No comment.
Welcome back to the Peppercorn Boys, where the group chat became the podcast, and it is that time of the week, the month, because it is strictly gorgeous time. I am joined by my brother from another. It's Scotty. It's just the two of us. Strictly gorgeous time again, you know?
It is.
I said that twice. Let's get it sticking.
Honestly, when you said strictly gorgeous, I thought, oh, are they coming in? Are they coming into this? And I thought, God, he's done that quick. I just sent him the link.
Yeah, I wish.
You are right. Strictly gorgeous is just us two. Which the backstory to that is just my dad always calls Pretty Deadly Strictly Gorgeous. But I think that's a really good name. Yeah, I think it's a really good name.
It's a fantastic name. Yeah.
I like how you're dressed today. Lots of browns. Look like you're going to go hunting. Very interesting.
I just didn't want to do my hair because I knew you'd show me.
Yeah.
When I looked when you came on, I was like, wow, brother. Of all the days, brother chose not to wear a hat on this day.
Yeah, I quite like the look of it. I think I'm going for like Eric from Boy Meets World / I don't know what it is. I pull all the mullet forward. I'll get it all. I feel like the Crow.
You need that seeing too.
I see to it regularly.
No, you don't.
I do.
You need it seen by a professional.
I am a professional.
You need some layers in it. You need some weight out of it, and your hair needs to breathe.
I think the last thing I need is weight out of my hair. I think that's a big issue. I feel like
there definitely is some in certain places. I definitely think you should. Mm-hmm. But this episode is coming out in full transparency. We're recording this on a Sunday afternoon before I'm about to have a really bad afternoon and watch City beat United. But this episode is coming out
while you're in
the week, the whilst I'm in Vegas, so I hope future Bruno's having a whale of a time. But more importantly, it's Scott's birthday week.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
That's interesting. But this should be a bigger deal then. We know that by now. I've lit up since you said that.
So let's celebrate all things you, and no pun intended, because that's also dropping on your birthday. So that that is your birthday present from me. I did speak to the powers that be at Netflix, and I was like, the final season, please can you just release it on my best friend's birthday? So happy birthday.
Did you say you in there? I feel like I didn't catch the name of the program, and I was like, what program? Cool.
I said celebrate all things you.
Oh, and that was a pun on me because it's my birthday. Got you. I'm nothing like that guy in that program, just so we all know. I don't have a cube downstairs. I don't read books. I don't fraternize in previous workplaces with Blake Lively. I don't do any of these things, even though obviously we stand with Blake here on the Peppercorn podcast. But
Sam is deep in that though.
Sam is deep in that, but I think that's old news, isn't it? Like, are we still talking about that?
No one cares, do they? But there is still a case ongoing.
Yeah. Do you know what was really cool about the whole thing?
What's that?
Never cared. Who cares?
Who does?
Who does care? But no, it is. Yeah, it's my birthday week then. So, what we're going to do? We're going to just celebrate me, is it?
Yeah.
You've already started about it with saying I need a professional to see my hair, even though
I know, but that was
nature scissors right here.
Honestly, I'm rewatching you go, and did you slightly pick that up from there and just like
maybe did they say that?
Yeah, because Nick does he doesn't say natures. He says I've got two good tools right here.
Oh.
And I was like, oh my God, that is so you.
Yeah, subliminally, I might have picked it up from that.
Like,
but I keep saying, like, I literally at work the other day, I was screwing something up and someone said, do you want a spanner? I said, nature spanner's right here. And they didn't give me a tool.
It's honestly one of my favorite things.
It's a bit that's really growing in steam. Out my window, I just saw someone walk past that I do not recognize at all.
That's unheard of.
Yeah. They're walking down towards the next house, basically along.
Wow.
And there's a guy in a nice red fleece to here. Nice little slick back black hair. Look very out of place. I'm interested in what that means. We were talking about you going hunting, and I'll say this. Luke has, which gorgeous thumbnail last week, obviously.
Oh, we'll get onto that because I'm fully deep in that now.
And have you broken up any AI where I'm like punching Joe or anything?
No,
if you could get to that, I think I'd have a whale of a time. While you're having a whale of a time.
It's my next thing. Actually, there's something I want to do before that, and then that is next to my agenda.
Okay. No, Luke has decided we have a slight mice problem here. We know this.
Yeah. Have you named it?
No, and I'm glad we didn't, because if, let's say Luke's John Wick, he's two victims down, and he's looking for number 3. And the thing is, the first one wasn't really a victim, because this guy's a Hungarian Vizsla. He's a soft nose. He's bred to bring back the duck without breaking anything.
Okay.
So he didn't actually harm it, even though it was in his mouth for a good 5 minutes. I was trying to get it out of him. But then he went back to it, and he did.
Hey, Luca can't. He loves food. All right. Anything, any form.
Moving food is even funner for the boy, because if you drop food, he moves like it's prey. So I think they're kind of getting a bit weird because we've put away the food, so there's no food out at all. And we've cleaned out underneath everything. So I think they're getting a bit desperate and moving into the house. Like this was like midway through a day across the middle of the kitchen. You know, our kitchen's like big.
Yeah. Well, you sent me that picture the other night. It was ballsy.
Way too brave.
It was squaring up to you.
Yeah. Luke,
it's like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, Luke thought way too brave. It moved so quick, but he moved quicker.
Oh, no.
But no, yeah. So little Luca Wick over here.
Little Jared.
Yeah, he's on his I don't know what he's like. Dog the Bounty Hunter. He's doing something. He's very active. He thinks they're up here. That's what's worrying me. He's starting. This is a brand new room. He's starting to sniff under things, which is worrying me a little.
Yeah, we don't want that.
No. So I don't know. I feel like we're being engulfed, but it's tough. It's like Jazz with that bird back in the day. He's just kind of doing what's natural, but it's very upsetting at the same time.
You can't. Yeah, you can't.
You don't care because it's mice, and Bruno can't stand rodents.
Absolutely. No, I can't. It's just because I had that bad experience, and I'll never get over it.
What bad experience was that?
I'm not saying it again. You should know, being my best friend.
Was this when the gangsters trapped you and they put it inside the bucket and put it on your stomach?
Yeah, and then I drove to Turpin Point.
Oh my God, you got too deep for me. I lost it. I completely lost it.
Too fast, too furious.
I knew what you were doing, but I was like, wow, you were quick and straight to it.
Yeah, pockets ain't empty, cuz.
Well, this is it. I guess you did have that experience that one time with Paul Walker.
Oh, damn! I should have said I bought in 5 minutes of window. You know,
honestly,
that's what it was.
Yeah, damn it. You know too much about that one film.
Honestly, it's because I like it.
Do you think you could? You know the most lines from that film out of any film?
Nah. Do you know what film I do have that with?
What?
The Chamber of Secrets.
Is that the one with the chess piece stuff?
No,
that's the first one, isn't it?
That's Philosopher's
Chamber of Secrets. You like Chamber of Secrets?
Yeah, Goblet is my favorite, but for some reason I know word for word Chamber.
Yeah, Nate, give me a couple.
Enemies of the air, beware.
Who says that wrong?
No, so Rain and Blood, and then Draco says it. You'll be next, you filthy little mudbloods.
That was really good until the last bit. It was a little bit insecure,
Yeah,
the last word.
I know. I think it's because I saw myself doing
Oh,
it.
really? No, you should have said it. Do you remember on holiday? I don't know if we spoke about it when you did that really good bit of acting slash you were dead serious, but
That's
it
real
was
life.
like watching James Corden in real life doing a dramatic piece, but really well. And I watched it 6 inches from my face, and it was honestly, I nearly like,
Cinema, brother.
yeah, I nearly just clapped it. It was just, we were all just like, Kieran did that mouth. Um, and yeah, no, that's good stuff. What were we talking about before all this? I've completely train
I
wrecked.
feel like you could rile me up to make me a good actor.
Well, I think that was 100% real when you did it, but halfway through it, you
Yeah,
realized too
yeah.
much. And then you kind of like, but you
I was
didn't
just
back out of it. That was really good.
I was just
Kind of stuck with it and then laughed afterwards.
I was just being over dramatic. That's all.
Yeah. And if I remember correctly, you'd had just had a Subway sandwich. So it might have been the early stages of that. Could have been
It wouldn't have hit that early.
what the sandwich.
No.
Okay. What was, okay. I was talking about Luke, but I feel like we were
Luke.
going somewhere. Why you didn't like rodents? That's why.
Yeah. Just a bad incident when I was like 7.
Pigeons.
There was one in my bed underneath, and then I got up at night, turned the light on, and then it startled out under my legs. I jumped and hated it ever since.
That's mad as well because now you just support Man United, you're captain. You go to UMIT 6 with these. You do all these kinds of things. So,
I bought that up to him.
did you? What did you bring up?
I said, I've been suckling your teat.
It was a nice double date. How was that, by the way?
Oh, it was so good. It was really good. It was really good.
Was it just a different environment?
It was emotional. It was packed. I've never seen Wembley Arena that packed on the floor before. Yeah, and I'll put a picture in here now. And then it was just a really, really good emotional last show.
Okay.
So
yeah,
good.
it's a weird one.
Yeah,
no, it's a weird one just because.
And that's why we need to be in person.
Yeah, we do.
Why is it a weird one?
Just because you saw him like 2 weeks prior, but it was in a uni or somewhere, and then
I'm so glad that I got to experience both.
Yeah, it's such a different vibe. Like to go to like Wembley or something, it's just mad. Wembley's mad as well for like a band that. No, I guess we saw it. Did you see a Day to Remember at Wembley Arena?
No, I don't think I did.
I can't remember who I was with. It was me, Alex, and someone.
No. Oh, stop. Yeah, it was, and it.
I don't think it was Alex. I don't think it was Alex at all.
No, I think it
was you, me, listening.
Yes.
Because someone was sick on my hat.
One other. Yeah, potentially one other, but it was neck deep supporting, wasn't it?
And Paris.
Oh wow, yeah.
Because that reminds me of when I went to a gig with Alex, asking Alexandria Palace. I saw Bring It Horizon with someone was supporting, I don't remember, but Paris reps were just giving out
their CD.
Yeah, like that, and like their contact information and cards and stuff. And they weren't a band I really knew of at that point. I kind of vaguely knew them. And I don't think they were even on the gig. I don't think they were. And they were just kind of, I guess it was like marketing. And I remember that night was the night that like Leicester were about to win the title. But the thing I was going to say was I still get emails from them from that night because we wrote down because we were like born.
They Paris were good for a hot second.
I still listen to them.
Yeah, me too. Maybe that's what we should do. We should just
form a band with a woman lead singer.
Yeah, that. Or we could create a 3 to 5 minute snippet of the Peppercorn Boys. Package it up. Do you know back in the day? I still have it somewhere. I've got the My Chemical Romance first album, a CD, but it's like this big.
Yeah,
because I got given it.
Yeah.
I reckon we make up those with a CD or with a QR code or something. That's what cool kids do nowadays, and give it out to people. Let's go to our demographic of what we want, and then
I'll say this:
let's build this. You know,
I think we should rent a billboard outside the Basement Yard's upcoming.
They've already been. Only it was the 31st of March.
Is it really?
It's already been. Yeah, I was so close.
Yeah, it would have been so
really
good.
Close to going.
But no, a billboard outside something like that would be good. The QR code that takes you directly to the download. I've thought about that with SeatGeek. I thought about it in the States, like in like middle of America, outside like a baseball game, just for like a month, because they play every day and everyone's buying tickets from SeatGeek. And I was just like, if you just put QR code of our SeatGeek code, I was like, that would be. I wonder if the juice would be worth the squeeze to steal a line from you.
Maybe.
Or not, because it could cost you $5,000 to rent it, and you don't make that back. Or you do, I don't know, but it'd be a risk worth taking. Anyway, let's talk about me. I do have a really good question as well.
So can we, for the listeners out there, can we just determine? So Luke's got two rodents down.
He's 2 down. There must be a third because he's very interested.
Okay. All right. Okay. There's probably a family somewhere, aren't they? And it's tough because Bobby gets attached.
Yeah. I think Chris Packham recently said that even he was sick of it. The rodent says. And that isn't a funny joke or anything. That is just a statement. And, it takes a lot for that to happen. I watched, talking to my birthdays, I watched Parkway. There's a new little doc they've put out, a 30-minute one. And it is the most ambitious tour ever. And they're doing Sydney. But they're doing Australia basically as a 20-year anniversary, which also makes me feel old. And I just watched that, which is ironic because in COVID, I don't know when it shut down. It was like late March, like 21st, 22nd of March, 2020. My birthday was on April 24th because it doesn't change. It's the same every year. And obviously you can send it to the PO box, Peppercorn Drive or somewhere like that. You should probably block that. That's an old apartment, but I still think you should block that. To give you more editing to do. Yeah, I apologize.
Yeah.
I watched the Viva La Underdogs documentary on my birthday. I bought it on Amazon.
Very good. During
COVID. And I remember that being, weirdly, even though it was COVID, a really good birthday. Got up, watched that, watched one Avengers. We were, I was working for the Avengers at that point. We were rationing food at that point because we still couldn't get food. You were popping around with food.
No. I was not just popping
taking the real fences. I think it's better. Okay.
Because you're trying to blasé. I was keeping you going. I was the one going out into the 28 days later, the zombie apocalypse, to get my best friend and his family their food for the week.
Yeah. The thing is, though, like good deeds and stuff become less of good deeds when people start to like brag about it or make people feel bad about it. But no, yeah, you certainly were out of gate once a week with a lot of shopping.
Yeah. I used to have to go twice a week. So I did yours and then I went back and did mine.
Oh well. Question: were you just cash in hand, or what were we doing? How were we doing that?
Your bank's transfer.
Oh, okay. In my head, I was like, what was going on there? We were just loose.
I was never. I was cashless since like 2018. I think.
Yeah, so much so that you always end up with scams on your cards.
Yeah. Just the one.
Happened. Yeah. Have you figured out the tolls yet of whatever's coming out?
Nah. Like I said, if one more does come out, then
you have to ring it.
I'm going to put Hurt on Hurt.
Yeah, you are. We do. In all fairness, we were just kind of blasé driving around and going, we'll worry about that down the road, and we're now down the road and worrying about it. But anyway, American roads are so stupid, really.
They are and they aren't. There is something quite nice about it. I was driving somewhere the other day and I was like, you'd never get this in America. Like I was basically primarily just on country roads and I was going from point A to B and I was like, to get to point A to B in America, you have to drive for like 5 minutes, get onto a freeway, then
off the freeway like 2 minutes later. Yeah. I don't know if maybe that's just because where we go. I don't know. I don't know if I don't know. Because like, you were there for Bunky, weren't you?
Yes, yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. So like
Yeah.
somewhere like Monkey, I can imagine you don't ever go on a freeway, but I don't know for sure.
Well, that was just one long road through it, wasn't it? Really?
True. Yeah, true. So I was just making sure my mic. I had to move my leg and it touches a wire. My this old
Oh.
rig while I'm still doing stuff. Not
When
excitable.
our next episode are we going to be in the new studio?
Are we doing an episode in 2 days' time?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Absolutely not. No, I can't.
Okay,
That
all right.
room is still full, and I need to find
Okay.
out. And it's not my stuff, so I don't know where it goes.
Oh, so you got to have
Do that, and then I got to
the
paint.
hard political decisions.
Yeah, I got a lot of
Oh,
decisions. There's a lot of conversations need to be had, and if not, it's going to be a situation of there's now everything that was in the last studio has to stay in the new studio, but it's a bigger room.
yeah.
But there's
Slightly,
also
yeah, yeah.
more new stuff because there's like a
Yeah.
wardrobe and shoe rack and some other stuff.
And all of Lissy's stuff that was in her old thing is still in there. The only thing that's really moved out is her desk, really, isn't it?
A desk and soon to be 2 shelves.
With
I'm keeping
most
them
of her
shelves.
stuff on.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she condensed her stuff down to 2
Downsized-
shelves.
okay.
Yeah, and then the rest went up.
Oh,
in the
nice.
So
Fair play.
stuff like
Fair
that.
play.
But I basically need to push it all to the walls and then figure out where I'm at. But it's so hard because of the amount of movement.
Yeah.
It's like you know those games you used to get. There was squares that had the little like slide ups, but it'd be one gap, so you could like. That's how that room feels in a minute. And for a bit there was a piece in that one, so you couldn't move it for the life of you. Like it was just you had to accept it. Whereas now that one piece is free, so there's a way of doing it, but it feels like I need 2 or 3 pieces missing. Make it a lot easier to move around.
You just have to get the stuff out of there, to be honest. But yeah, it's tough because I wouldn't want to put the records or anything out in
No, can't really. And we're running out of space up top,
or up in the loft either.
I think what I might do is get really good boxes and it just stacks. So the side wall is just going to be stacked with like plastic containers with stuff in. I think that's the only way to condense it down, and then, which I don't mind. It doesn't have to be, and as long as one wall,
you just
like
want
this,
the corner.
Yeah, as long as the corner's good, and I've got a couple tables to do stuff on, and I can get to it without problem. And it's weird because the streaming on Whatnot as well, it's changed. So like mystery boxes aren't allowed anymore. So you're not allowed to like confine things to boxes or bags or anything like that.
When did that change? Is that like the sellers, the buyers need to know what they're buying?
So they need to know what they're buying. They don't need to know where it is. So Whatnot didn't like the idea of people using like alternative wheels that aren't theirs. And like other means, so it's like a raffle because it shouldn't be a raffle. It's people should buy.
Yeah.
But they're not getting rid of mystery. So like a month ago, they changed it from mystery boxes or mystery product to soccer surprise products. So they wanted it to be less of, the problem is what we were doing was really good in the sense that it was really good value and we never lied. And we sell all the boxes, so you find out what's in it anyway. So no one, if you watched our episode, you wouldn't think, oh, they're scamming.
No, yeah.
And there's been a couple times, maybe twice, that we didn't sell all the boxes and we just ended early. And we opened all the other boxes and said, this is where this was, this is where this was, and we stay on shot the whole time. Whereas if you watch some others, they're like, they got bags off to one side and then they go, what bag you got? And then they bring it from one side. And there's a little bit of that. And also people do like, oh, you're chasing a Bruno Hawkins 1-of-1 card. So everyone's buying the boxes, and then with 1-2 boxes left, they go, we're ending our stream now, and then they just end the stream. So was there even that chase? So I think there's a lot of people doing that. I think genuinely there was a percentage.
You've definitely never been that. So have they definitely changed their term?
Yeah, I got an email of all the change. And to a point where what they want is you have to list every single card that can be found. Yeah. And you have to number them, but you have to use Whatnot system to spin, and they choose. So basically, instead of having, we're not limited to 24 now. It would be annoying to do like, we do like 5 cards per box. You'd have to list like a break, number 1, and there'd be like, you'd have to do like Bruno Hawkins, Merlin, 3 of 10, good condition.
Okay. So you'd have to list what's in each box. So they're the element of surprise when you open them and say what, but that's just a pack.
Yeah, you're just randomizing like what you want.
Pack. Yeah.
But the only difference is if you've got a chase, like let's say it's Yamal 1-of-1. Yeah. If the other 50 boxes have Yamal to 399, you can write that. And then when it randomizes, your chances are low, but people want it so bad, they would be doing it because they want the
Okay.
card. So they'll keep buying spots. So basically, if we're doing like slabs, you write out 30 slabs that you can get. And then they buy one. As soon as they buy one, it will rotate and it will pick one of the slabs at random. And if it is the big hit, then it's the big hit. If it's not, keep going. So it's probably better because one, we don't have to have the boxes. Two, we don't have to have anything on show because if they're all there, they're all there. You know, like the only downside is obviously if the reason they do it this way is, for example, if we said, you know, 100 boxes, one of them's a Yamal, one of one, and we don't show any of the cards. If the first box goes and it's the one of one, and we don't produce the one of one, we'll have to refund that money and then we'll be banned forever.
Yeah.
But we don't do that. We do try and do like good value. So it does make it more rigid and proper. But instead, me and Joe will just sit on some gaming chairs and we're just on shot and be like, who's buying? So it's just more of a, like I said, I've always wanted it to be more like Kai Sennett, and he doesn't have things on show. But if someone buys one, be like, all right, randomize it, and then you go grab the card. So we can have all the cards on the shelves.
You do, you do need something. I think there needs to be some visual aspect because people do tune in for that sort of. Like I like seeing the boxes behind you. I still have the boxes behind and be like,
yeah. I just don't want whatnot to look at it and be like, oh, they're hiding the cards. Or
all right,
the only thing I'd say is something I don't know because on there, like Lewis loved the idea. We did it recently, which is a lot of people have done it, but they'd use like Excel sheets. It's every time you buy, that gives you another opportunity. So you know when they do like buyer's giveaway. If 50 people buy, if you bought 50 items, but someone else bought one, they have just as much likeliness of winning as you.
Yeah.
Whereas Lou was like, but you should get 50 raffles. Like, do you know what I mean?
I agree. Yeah.
But they don't do that. So we did one show once, which was in a hat. Every time you bought, we put your name in a hat. So you have more options. We did a buyer's givey. We did a buyer's givey anyway, but then we did that as well. And we got a strike on that, like not a full strike count, but they said don't do that. But I've watched so many and I've been a part of so many that still do it. So I don't know if they're just accepting whatever or whether, I don't know. Not so much now. I think they're really cracking down now. But breaks will be next because there's so much shadiness to breaks. Like the really good people do it really well, but there's people you see on your like Instagram. People do the clips where the tops are ripped or they go out shot for a second. Oh, sorry, I had to move my armor quick, and you like, what are you doing? So I don't know. Yeah.
It's tough. I like it because whatnot just want to be transparent and
it's not hard to be transparent
and not have their buyers be ripped off because if they are ripped off, it's going to be that platform will just cease to exist because no one will trust it because it won't be on the creators. It's like whatnot are putting their sort of reputation
on the line.
Yeah, to do.
eBay are going live with auctions soon. Live video auctions with no fees.
Wow.
And there's like 10 to 15,000 people on whatnot, but there's 50 million people on eBay. And all of a sudden, if you do a show every night on eBay and you're selling cards, no fees, everyone's going to move over there. So it's a matter of time. But I think they're doing breaks on eBay already, but it's a 7-day break. So you have 7 days to auction every spot. And then they do a live video. And sometimes you can link it to like YouTube or whatever. But we don't do breaks anyway, just because, I don't know, we might do breaks. I'd love to do wrestling. I'd love to do the WWE breaks. I love the WWE cards.
Yeah. I think you need an audience so it then it makes the juice worth the squeeze.
Yeah. But
you have the competition.
The one thing I don't know what's going to happen is I wonder, we want to make the show more of like an entertainment show, like how we do here and we do everywhere. Like our group that's what we do is entertainment. That I want it to be like Kai said it in the sense that like one, you could have guests on your show. So you're running a usual show, but like here's so-and-so sitting in and try different people. But not just that, have things like I said, the next buy, when someone hits tonight, I'm going to put Joe through this table or something. Do you know, something stupid like that? And I don't know if that's like a bannable thing because you're just physically, it's like saying I'm going to jump up and down on this pogo stick when someone hits. If you then raffled off, I'm going to put Joe through a table if someone for 200 quid. I don't think that's going to be held up. But if you're saying when someone hits, we're going to set off sirens and I'm going to put Joe for a table. it's incentive.
I
People I want to see it, but also there's an element of like, there's no, it's our choice, isn't it?
that's got to be in their terms to see whether that's in there or not.
Yeah.
Or you just run multiple and you do that part on Twitch or
YouTube or something, yeah.
and do the actual auction part through whatnot.
Yeah, so I think the changes they're making are actually like good, because it just means there's going to be also it means how many sellers are going to stop now that are shady, which means there's more people that are going to look at.
They're fine if people want to be shady. People find a way to be shady.
Yeah, but I'm hoping it'll just increase the more people that will use us, because people that want mystery are going to go, do you know what, we trust them because they've never done anything weird.
Yeah.
So more likely to get eyeballs. But that was a serious conversation about
that was.
But hey, we move around. I have a really serious question.
Oh no, even more serious than that.
Yeah. It's not so much serious, but it's interesting.
Okay.
What is consciousness? And on that note, can you tell I've watched Aaron Rodgers' documentary this week?
Is there a
it's on Netflix
documentary?
Yeah, Scott's.
I have no idea.
Scott. By the way, I love this because AI picked our thing last week.
Yeah.
Scott's classic Netflix. It's like, but the best part about my Netflix picks, it's just whatever's in the top 10, and it really locally. Yeah. Like, it's not like I've got to found something. This one was big like 3 months ago. I just didn't watch it. It's called Enigma on Netflix.
I didn't know he had one, or two, it wasn't on Netflix, so I haven't actually seen it being advertised.
Yeah, weird guy. I think he might have some demons, that guy.
For sure.
I think he's pretty much saying,
at least
he does, not in a bad way. Like, he's saying he's kind of questioning a lot of stuff.
He's willing to explore his demons as well.
Oh yeah, that the whole thing's like an ayahuasca retreat, which doesn't look like a lot of fun. I'll say that.
I definitely wouldn't say no.
Yeah,
it has to be the right situation,
proper done,
the right setup, properly done with people I trust.
This was, and it was people he trusts. It was with the people we know. He's done it twice, but I don't know. It's very interesting to watch, and also reminds me just how overrated that player is. I'm ready to have that conversation.
No,
I'm ready to have that conversation along the lines of people going, "Oh, Josh Allen's unreal."
Josh Allen is very talented. He needs to.
He's really good.
He needs to get the Pat Mahomes size duck off his back and probably get the championship stuff. Yeah. But for his first 2 years in the league, and then where he's now become, he is elite. But Aaron Rodgers,
he throws touchdowns here.
Is very good.
Yeah, he's all right. But like watching it, like
do not. Okay, all right.
I'm sorry, but
let me gauge your level of Aaron Rodgers in the football sense. Is he better than Dak?
Yeah,
by a lot.
Yeah, he's had like 4 MVPs and he's won a Super Bowl.
Okay. So how many quarterbacks would you put above Aaron Rodgers?
All time?
All time. In our lifetime.
I put above him. Well, you got like obviously
it's Manning, Breeze, Brady, Mahomes.
Yeah. Russell Wilson.
I think.
Do you think Josh Allen's better than Russell Wilson?
No, Russell Wilson was very good.
He was very good.
I have that it's tough to ask me about Russell Wilson because he came out in the same draft as
Andrew Luck.
So I've always had that sort of thing with him.
Stafford.
But he's very good. Rodgers is better than Stafford, but Stafford is very talented as well.
Yeah, Rodgers is a very good, like a high level quarterback. I just think that maybe people go way over the top. He just couldn't ever get it done. Like every time he nearly went like Josh Allen feels like what Rodgers is. He's going to win a Super Bowl eventually.
Yeah,
And then he's going to just constantly lose to someone like Brady, his version of Mahomes, if you know what I mean. Because when you watched it, they were kind of like, they explained his career. So it's like a career retrospective, as well as he keeps disappearing to like darkness retreats, and then saying he's been immunized or something. Like it's a good dog because it's bizarre. But I mean, where he was at the start to where he is now is mad. It's like Joe Manganiello. If you've watched like his, some would say descent or ascent. It's they've fallen into this like he questions everything to such a high level, but he constantly like contradicts himself, but he doesn't realize he's doing it. And I think that's what's kind of funny.
Okay. Yeah. I agree that there is a level. I feel like you should be inquisitive.
Definitely.
You should question things 100%. But I do agree when you get into conspiracy stuff.
He's deep.
We love conspiracies.
I love a conspiracy,
stuff like that. However, you do start majorly contradicting yourself.
Yeah.
And that's why I can't listen to one person in my life, because I can't deal with it.
Yeah. It's the conspiracy. We love conspiracy theories. I love talking about conspiracy theories. Do I truly believe in any? Probably not. But that's the difference. I think he truly believes in like half of them.
Yeah. And
I get like, you just go, yeah, you're onto something for sure, but let's just relax for a minute. But I don't know, he's just an interesting, he's an enigma.
He is.
Which is the name of the show.
Yeah, he 100% is. And I do like hearing him talk. Like when the initial, like the first 2 seasons, obviously it was when it was MVP, back-to-back MVP season. So it was a different light. I very much enjoyed his Tuesdays on Pat McAfee.
He talks about that on there.
I do that, but when your day-to-day and his day-to-day as football isn't going great, the mood changes, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So it becomes less. But I'm a big fan of Rodgers anyway. I like hearing him talk about football and certain things. Do I believe everything he says? No. But I like to hear what everyone has to really say about certain things.
Oh, yeah. And he says on there, he was like, people loved me on McAfee until it hit COVID. And then once I started talking about different things on there, he said, then it becomes divisive. But I don't know, he just does some really, you kind of think you know what he's like, and then he does something so weird.
He does. You can tell relationship wise and stuff like that he's probably not the funnest person to really be around 24/7.
I tell you the funniest, I find him bizarre. I think he's very unlikable, but I mean,
there probably are a lot of personality traits that I'm like,
and I think I heard Seth Rollins on a podcast talk about it, and I think he just hates Rodgers, but he's fascinated by him. He's like, he's a Chicago fan.
Yes.
But he was like, he was like, because of a lot of his modern takes is why he said he didn't like him.
Yeah.
He also dislikes him from his years of being a Packer. Yeah. But there's an ongoing thing for Aaron, like where, he comes out of college and he's going to take over from, blanked on his name,
Brett
Favre. And Brett Favre doesn't really like him, doesn't really involve him in anything. Then they kind of get a bit closer, but then he gets kicked. He joins. Then the second year, I think it's the third year, he wins the Super Bowl. And from the start, he had like such a chip on his shoulder because he didn't get picked first.
Third year of him starting, he sat for 2 years.
Yeah, it's such a long time. And on the third year, he wasn't going to start either because Favre left, but then returned. And then left again. But he was supposed to get picked first by the Niners. Yeah. And that was where he was born. So he supported and all that. And then they didn't go with him. And then he was explaining the draft and he was sat there and they were expecting to go first. And he was like, didn't have any conversations with this team, so it won't be them. Didn't have a conversation with this team, so it won't be them. This team, it might be, didn't have a good conversation, but they need a quarterback.
Yeah.
It wasn't them. And it kept going. And they got to Green Bay and they took a receiver. And then it went to the next round, and it was just...
That's funny that they got a receiver in the first round, and they never drafted a receiver for him in the first round after that.
Yeah. He says when they took Love, it was the first skill position or something that they took for, I think it was like 11 years or something.
Yeah. It was silly. It was stupid.
Mad. But he does all that, and you can tell he's got a chip on his shoulder. He falls out with his family a little bit because they're very Christian and all that. And he's starting to question it. And later on, they all go on like a TV show and kind of tear into him. He ends up like, he was like, I hated the fame that come with it. And then he was like, but I didn't like help myself, obviously, because of all the people I dated. And it shows all the list of people he dated, like Olivia Munn, all these people.
Oh yeah. I only know a couple of his dates. Olivia Munn and then Shane Woodley.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's pretty much it.
They show them all in a row. Okay, so it kind of like contradicts because he's like, I hate fame. So like I try to stay away from it. And then they showed him all these red carpets. And he's like, I didn't want to do like the adverts. And then it showed him like cashing the check for like all the adverts. They were just like, so even though it was his documentary, it's a little bit like they kind of show a bit of both.
Yeah.
And then like during COVID, like he went as John Wick to like that party and stuff. It's just so random. And then he got COVID and couldn't play. And it was just, but when they were showing it, you're just like, you think he's kind of just like quiet to himself guy. And then he like breaks protocol and like, he's like, all I live for is football. And then he like breaks protocol to go to a party with a load of people and like celebrities and stuff. And then they're like, why did you do that part? And he's just like, oh, yeah, no. And then he goes back to football. And then he's like, basically he's come to terms with that he is a football guy and he never wanted to be a football guy. That's kind of where he got to with the ayahuasca and stuff. Was he kind of hated the fact that people were like, you're just a football guy. And he's like, I like being a football guy, it turns out. But no, it's weird the similarities he's had with Brett Favre as well. Like the teams, everything.
It's unbelievable. He got karma for whatever you think back in the day. He got karma back for that because they did the exact same thing to him as they did to Favre.
Yeah, because they show him draft love and he's just like.
But Favre did. It looks like he's going to Steelers. Rodgers.
Yeah, it does look like he's
that could be a good place. I don't know. I really don't know. They're gonna get 8 wins because they never finished below 500. So
that's true.
They might be in the playoffs then. So it could be good. But he's a shell of the quarterback that he used to be before the Achilles.
Yeah, they showed that the whole doc is based still around him coming back from that Achilles.
This is going to be his last season.
Yeah. So Manning only won 2 Super Bowls, didn't he?
Yeah, one with Colts, one with Broncos, but went to 2 others.
But Rodgers has been the one, won one. That's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird, like, because they showed like that year where they nearly went undefeated and they lost 1 and then they lost immediately in the playoffs or something.
Yeah. It happens. It's
just
honestly, that's why I can't like. Yes, you do have to win rings, but that I just enjoy watching Josh Allen play. Like,
I totally agree, and that's why I'm kind of questioning it. Is because my theory on all sports is very few people get to win really big things.
No.
So if you can't enjoy the little like how people play, little wins, what's the point? Because if you're all just waiting for that one thing, might never happen.
It takes 100 people in NFL to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
you can't. Brady has never won one on his own.
No, it does help though.
It takes it does. If you don't have an elite quarterback, your odds of winning the Super Bowl are very low.
Yeah.
However, there's been a lot of teams that have won with mediocre quarterbacks, aka the New York Giants twice. So it's a perfect storm.
It happens. Eli Manning, better or worse than Rodgers?
Worse, but yeah.
Wow.
Talent-wise, Aaron Rodgers revolutionized part of the game.
So just because of how weird his arm is and that when he throws in it?
It's just I think Aaron Rodgers walked so Pat Mahomes could run.
Wow, that's really interesting. Anyway, we got Kay Adams on the show next week. So
yeah, and I'd love that. But what is consciousness to you?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. I'm trying to find out. I've been asking everyone.
Have you?
No. You're the first person I asked.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's a tough one. I think it's just being alive and present and breathing and being aware and being yeah.
Okay.
What about you?
I have no clue.
No,
I literally don't know what it is. I don't. You know what I mean? I don't actually know.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll try and look up the meaning. It's the state of being aware and
Yeah.
responsive to one's surroundings.
Bring it up, Jamie.
How
Shall I ask ChatGPT?
Yeah, the state of
Because
being.
I am fully deep in ChatGPT right now.
Yeah.
If for those that haven't seen last week's episode or seen the thumbnail, I put together a very, like, probably the worst thumbnail that I've actually put together in Photoshop, and then I put that into ChatGPT, asked them to put it into the Ghibli style, and my word, it knocked it out of the park.
It's a really nice thumbnail. I think we should use all our thumbnails like that for now. I know there's a big argument in a minute, isn't there, about AI being used for anything like thumbnails to artwork to what's the other? Basically, a lot of people are fighting back at it because, like, for example, WWE have been using clearly AI for their backgrounds on like the WrestleMania match graphics, and you can see like inconsistencies with it that only would come with AI. And people are like, why are they not paying a human who has skills to do backgrounds? And for example, Dude Perfect use AI now mainly for their backgrounds. All these kind of things. And there's a lot of like pushback that they're like, this is the start of AI will take most jobs digitally first and then move on.
Yeah. There's a certain thing. AI, I believe, is to be used as a tool to help. Like, I think I would put in and ask for like a show plan, like kind of like let's figure that out. I have 2 thumbnails, like ask it to do that, but do the work rather than just letting it do it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think I saw a documentary on Do Perfect and they talked about it, and they said basically that they have an editor, but he would say he'd put their idea into AI and then look at a load of images and then go, that's the kind of image I want. And then he would make his own. So like, yeah, using it as a tool.
I use it as a tool. Let's finish this consciousness one. So I asked my I need to come up with a name for it, but he was like, hey, that's a big one.
Well, this is what I hope for. Yeah.
Consciousness is generally the state of being aware of and able to think about yourself and your surroundings. At its core, it makes you you. Your thoughts, your feelings, perceptions, and experiences are all rolled into one. And then it says, then it breaks it down into neuroscience, philosophy, and then in AI as well. So, and then it goes, so in short, consciousness, awareness plus experience plus self-reflection.
Yeah, because if you think about it, when people say you lost consciousness, is when you get knocked out. So you're losing the ability to feel awareness surrounding. Okay, that makes sense then. Going back to
how exactly it works or where it comes from is still one of the biggest unsolved puzzles in science and philosophy.
And again, that's why you gotta watch Donnie Darko.
Yeah, we're just getting deep. Oh, yeah, I do. I need to watch. Hey, hold on a second. I know, sorry.
Oh my God, you tried so many different. What are they called? You started 9 guys. Hey, now, what? Wait, hey, you know.
You told me last week to watch Leaving Las Vegas. You didn't tell me it was about.
I didn't know it was about that. That's a damning word. You shouldn't have used that word. That's nasty. Well, that's nasty word. Do you mean a worker? Wow. That's bad. I'm actually watching about that Gone Girls on Netflix, which is also number 1. So I'm not picking
from a while ago.
No, it came out Friday. Yeah, the documentary.
That is mad. I need to watch that. I need to watch that.
That's mad.
Sorry, go ahead.
AI. I had a thought not too long ago because when you could put, like, for example, 3 guys, here's the 3 guys, they do a podcast together, let's make me a logo for the podcast. You put that in and they might come up with a perfectly sized image that is of you 3 in a certain style with the name and everything. You could give it all the bits and it puts it all together and you go, that's unreal. And then that's it. You own that now because it delivered that at random. And then if you asked it to do it again, it wouldn't do the same one twice. So they're these kind of like, as far as like copyright, things like this, it's mad. But I thought about it not so long ago. You could start making music this way. So if you put in, I want melodic like this, I want it to sound like this. Joe went, here's my lyrics, here's my voice, put it all together, and we want to break down at the end. It could give us that. And it might be the best song you've ever heard. And it is a completely unique song. And all you'd have to do is be the front people for it. And you could have the three of us standing there doing photos. Here's our new single. Here's a picture of us. Here's our new single. There you go. There's literally already bands doing where it's an AI person. But I don't know if the music's AI. But someone recently did it where they said, I'm writing country songs for AI. They're the best country songs I've ever heard.
Yeah.
But they're openly saying it's from AI. How long until like Bruno Hawkins goes, Bruno Hawkins is a big new country act, and you put music through AI and you become a big country act. And when you do live, it's not live, but people don't care because it's the songs.
I think.
What if your live act was behind a screen? Because you're like, that's the lure.
Yeah, but it's hard. It's hard to really do that. I still want authenticity. So
Luke's trying to jump through all the wires.
It's why I don't go see DJs.
Yeah, I don't get that part. Like I get what you mean, but I do think there's an element to that. Like, because if you think about it, if you for example, if you got you who can play bass, I can play guitar, Jack can play guitar, you get someone who can drum, and Joe can write lyrics. You put all that stuff into an AI, and they go, "Here's the song." Then you learn the song.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, but that's how easy you could make an album in a day. You just have to learn it to do live. Because you can release the song and then after 6 months you go, let's do a tour. But you've learned it in that 6 months. But the songs are so good because they're taking every little good bit and the uniqueness of what you've put in. And I was like, that is the death to original art. It's got to be AI. It's already started with things like backgrounds and things like that. Thumbnails online. What is next? I think it's got to be music. Because there's got to be a chance that how many of these metal bands are putting an idea through AI and then just learning it or being I think, like using it like a tool, like you said, going, that's a really nice melody for a breakdown. And then just using it and then doing it themselves. But the ideas are not coming from the human brain; they're coming from a.
Yeah, and you don't like that? Is that too far?
I'm not someone who is that bothered by it because I'm not an artist. I am in the sense of like wrestling is an art form; it's more sport. I don't know, but I don't think wrestling can be taken over by AI. Because it is it's the same as live musicals, like plays. You could make a musical.
I could just put you and Joe in a ring and say, can you actually make them good at wrestling? And then it could just
I appreciate that. That's really nasty. That's and you're talking to God's child here. That's mad to do that. The things like that, I don't think will, live performances of those things, wherever it came from, because you could say, like, for example, you do a wrestling match and an agent puts the match together, take the agent away and put a wrestling match through AI and go, because it kind of feels like Will Ospreay's matches are like that. Give us everything that's really good in one match and give it to us. You read it and go, great match.
Yeah. I reckon because AI learns, so I reckon you could get it to learn a style.
Well,
give you a breakdown.
Well, I have this really, like on the podcast, I'm letting little, not secrets, but little snippets of ideas I've had for wrestling and potential solo, potential not solo. And one of them was putting promos through AI and being like, I want it to come across like this type of character from this film, but this is the wording, or at least not even that, bullet points. I want a brand new, what's it called? Or I want the whole thing to be in similes, or I want it to all be in whatever. And
do that.
Yeah, and you go, all right, and then deliver one of the best promos you've ever. Or even you can literally give AI your voice and be like, could you do the promo? And then you don't have to be in the promo, because I could cut the promo and then do a video of me walking around. And it's my voice over the top.
In TikTok now, you can do AI. I could put myself into TikTok or this AI filter, and I actually sound good. Like it makes my singing voice sound good.
Does it really?
Yeah.
That's how you do the country song.
Exactly.
And the microphone
that's what I mean. Yeah.
Mate, I think there's some people on this earth are going to make a lot of money in the opening
Yeah.
of this. Then there's
And
going to
why
be
can't it be us?
yeah, why not? And then the bit after that will be where the resentment of learning that all these things are coming from
Yeah.
AI, and then there's going to be the acceptance. And at that point, there's going to be Megan Fox looking robots walking around in people's homes like yours. If you've watched that film as well on Netflix,
I haven't.
yeah,
I
that's
need
right up
to.
your street. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy.
Oh, buddy, what's are you trying to get on? Did you pop in the shot then?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I love it.
Buddy?
I just see his. I'm just seeing his right eye, and that's it.
He's looking out the window now.
No, he loves looking out a window. That's his
Yeah.
favorite pastime. Apart from catching mice, that's his favorite pastime.
He's got comfortable now. He had an early dinner.
Oh,
He's had an early breakfast and he's had an early lunch.
wow.
So he's now looking. I can sense his energy has shifted to his 3 o'clock meal 2 hours early.
Yeah.
He's not adjusted to the time change. He's not done anything.
I haven't eaten yet. I am Hank Marvin.
What was I gonna say? I've eaten. I had a. You saw what I ate.
Yeah, I did see what you had. It's very nice.
I'm still nursing the coffee. Look at the size of that coffee. It's the same size as my head.
From that same thing.
Yep.
All right, turned into an iced coffee now, bro.
It's iced coffee, and I've got an actual problem. I like iced coffee more than hot coffee. But if a hot coffee goes cold with no ice in it, it's the most disgusting thing in the way. I can't. But if I put an ice cube in there, I'll be like, It's not the taste; it's the idea of it. It's when you see someone's coffee mug left on the side and it's got that much left, and it's gone cold.
Yeah.
The idea of drinking someone else's.
Hey.
Can I do a dog of the week?
Yes, please. Yeah.
It is Ronald. We've talked about it in previous episodes. It is Ronald. He is a crossbreed. He is part German Shepherd. He is part something else. We don't fully know. The link will be below this video. The pictures of him will be already in your face, in your eyeballs.
Yeah.
But he is gorgeous. He is so cool to look at. And that's it, really. I think there's certain dogs that come along, and Luke was one of them, that is so unique that you think that's mad. And they always end up in the exact same kennel because he's in the same kennel that Luke was always in. So,
were you in on Friday?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was in on Friday.
I didn't really get any. Like normally when you're in, I get some daily updates. We didn't get
I didn't send any. I sent.
No.
I say the only person who got any content that day was I sent Kelly a picture of some collie staffy pups.
Oh.
Don't know why. It's just because I know she likes staffies and they have collies. So
yeah,
that's where it was. I think that's it. It's not really been about me though. The birthday. I don't. You haven't said any nice. Could you say some nice words about me?
What are you? No, I can't. I feel like that will tarnish the brand that I'm going for, and I'm fully on my teat at the moment, so I can't.
Yeah,
I can't.
I'm your third best friend at the minute.
Yeah.
Potentially fourth.
No. I'll give you.
You give me third, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's mad because I said this morning that I would try.
Oh no! Oh my god! That's how I wanted to start this episode. That's so annoying. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Peppercorn Boys.
No. This is late. This is not the start of the show.
Where the group
not
chat
the start of the show.
Podcast. And you will
We're an hour in.
And you will never believe what Scott said to me this morning. Scott said that he wants me inside of him.
No comment. That is essentially what I said. But it's not how you expect it to be. It's potentially worse. It is worse.
It's horrible.
It's not horrible. It's sweet.
I would taste sweet, to be fair.
What would you take? I don't know if this is the right conversation, but
please take one of my quads and have it as like a Chateaubriand or something. You know.
I think you said brioche wrong, but I think for me that you would taste exactly like a jam donut.
Oh,
don't know why.
Oh, I don't know.
This is weird.
That was a really weird video because I scrolled past it. I saw the thumbnail and I saw the caption. I was like, nah. And then about 5 minutes later, I got it through, and Scott was like, "If you ever this is what I would do.
Yep. It was essentially a guy that was really odd. And I didn't understand what he said because he kind of mentioned he saw like a shin bone and he kind of said the liver was on it.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be like, someone's killed my son. I must avenge him, but it
No.
wasn't.
Was it his son?
I
I don't know the
it was
context.
Patrick. It was Patrick.
Yeah, the context was that he essentially, once the coroner got there, that he started to just eat the person because he wanted to make sure they were still with him, which I think is really sweet.
There's definitely some sweet connotation to it, but it's wrong. But if you want me
Isn't that what love is?
I can get it organized. All right.
I don't know how to comment.
What have you? Do we know? Have you got anything planned for your birthday week? Because Scott is the type of guy that takes a week to celebrate his birthday rather than just the standard day for regular people, or not celebrating it like I do on my birthday.
This guy acts like he doesn't celebrate it. This guy's worse than me on my birthday. I'm problematic on my birthday. I'll say that because
you're problematic 24/7, but you're a little princess around your birthday week.
Yeah, not around my week. This has become an illusion. This is a part of your subconscious. This is your problem.
Hey,
this is AI.
Do you know someone else that loves to have a birthday week that didn't get a birthday week?
Who?
Josh.
He didn't get to have one.
No, he was like, I want a birthday week celebration, but he doesn't get that. And I was like, you sound just like my other best friend.
My third best friend. The one that's one above you.
Yeah.
Because we know who's first.
Who is first?
It's Martin.
He's off to Mongolia, big man.
What's he doing there?
For his 40th birthday.
Oh wow. He's much older. He's a much older man.
Yeah.
Interesting. And he's not number one, did you say?
Come on. You'll never not be number one. Actually, because I'm technically not your best friend.
What do you mean by that?
I'm one of your best friends. Lissy is your best friend. You married your best friend.
You're both.
You married your best friend.
Lissy, Bruno, and Joe are all my best friend. Collectively. And that's why when I got married, there was two people that married me and the other person. It's a quadruple. It's a perfect square.
Yeah. And so, yeah, when I find my ride or die, you might get
a look in.
A little bit aside, all right? But
yeah.
For now, you will always be... Because actually at the show, I bought... You technically are my third best friend that I've had in my life.
In the third one done? Like
yes,
third in?
Third one. Third in.
I think you were my third. That's not a lot, though, is it, really? Because it was so early doors.
Nah, it was early doors. We've managed to not drive each other crazy.
Well, yeah, no, I think we're doing fine. Most people around us don't even have friends from school. Like we're all pretty mad for the sense that we're all like kind of still friends.
I think one, because people did move away to different unis and got other friendship groups, but I still think there are some old cliques from school that still are in each other's lives for sure.
Do you think?
From our school, yeah, I think it's become more apparent. Well, the whole rec crew lot are still together. Yeah. Like they're down in Devon at the moment. Josh, Gus, and Ant, and their respective partners and family. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So.
Yeah, I guess. Also, I think it's a generational thing. I think we grew up on things like American Pie and that, where they do reunions and they all stay friends. And I think modern world, I don't think people are. Like Joe doesn't have any friends from his school.
Yeah, but Joe didn't have any. We were Joe's friends, weren't we?
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Still are as well, I'd like to think. I know you're starting to like categorize your friends, but I mean, probably because of your master. It's probably asked.
Yeah, I know.
You need to cut someone.
I do.
Yeah, that'd be good.
No, I'm a.
Bruno's the type of guy that once I have a child, you'd be like, I'm gonna have to cut you because you're not spending enough time on me. You're that kind of guy.
I am worried.
You're worried. No, you should be. In all of this, what you should be doing is worrying about that. No, you are right.
I know that I am
Problem.
the third bishop.
Oh,
I'm the
bishop.
third. Yeah, I'm 100% the problem.
You're like Jake Paul in the pause.
That's that's never that's never been.
Oh no,
Yeah, I don't know where I was.
No, you're a brother. You're in there.
Yeah, exactly. So even if you move out, I'd still move in with Bobby too. You know.
No, I fully understand that. Like, if you like when you eventually move to Italy or somewhere, I think it wouldn't matter. It would still be
yeah,
La Familia.
Always
La Familia, family.
Yeah.
I wanted to do a Dom. What's his name? Dom
Mysterio.
Very good.
Toretto.
Yeah, you knew it was Toretto. I want to do something family based there, but I couldn't think of anything because I don't know the films like you.
I don't
look yourself.
I don't suckle on the teat of people. I suckle on the teat of family.
Okay, you don't have to suckle on any teeth, just so you know. But I don't,
and I definitely don't. I just
you definitely don't. You say that's interesting.
That's my present to you. I let you carry on this whole shindig that I do that, but I don't. Because you're worried. You're worried that I'm being taken away, but I'll never be taken away from you.
In my present is I'm going to let you have that.
Yeah, thanks.
I like how toxic the way in which we allowed opinions.
Yeah, I know. And if you have enjoyed this episode of the Peppercorn Boys, please hit the like button, the subscribe button. It has, very much so. And hey.
Yeah, you need ChatGPT just to do your actual speaking soon.
The annoying thing is, if you just shut up
for a second. I wasn't saying anything.
You did. You interrupted my spiel.
No, I didn't. Once you started it, you went, hey, and then you started talking, and then you just went...
No. Then you were like, has it been an hour already? You interrupted the flow.
No, I shouldn't have put over how fun the conversation was. I should have let
Yeah. So please...
Now go ahead and start your spiel again, because you should be fine now.
If you have enjoyed it, please consider subscribing on Apple, Spotify, or Amazon Music, and on YouTube. I really want to get some subscribers on YouTube. Please.
I totally agree.
Hit the subscribe button. And everyone down in the comments, wish Scott a happy birthday. We will get into it. There'll be one more episode after this where...
Timings are not
right. But the episode after that, so episode 75,
we got a lot to cover.
Will be a big
show,
a big episode.
It's gonna be 3 hours to show.
Yeah, it is.
Bruno said, "Would you please consider doing all those things?" I'm not going to be like that. I'm going to say you have to. You must go and subscribe to our YouTube and on iTunes and Spotify. Lucas says he's relaxing from looking for mice. I think he's just in shot, is he? Oh,
he's in shot.
Yeah, there he is.
Barber.
So we're going to sit here for the next 20 minutes and drink this cold coffee. And then, these pillows are so slippery. He's struggling with it. They're like really nice felt.
Yeah, he's gonna get. I need to figure out where my sofa's being delivered. I need to get some stuff sorted out for that.
Do you have to get rid of the old one?
Yeah.
Where are you putting it? How are you doing that?
I'll get someone to come pick it up.
Oh, okay. I was going to say you're going to have to take your mouth off the teat for a second and maybe ask for some help. Does he allow questions up?
He does. He helped me out big time. He's helped me out a lot this year, to be fair.
Yeah. I'm worried that mic just disconnected. No, it didn't. Luke just hit the mic with his pillow.
Don't blame it on... Sort yourself out.
Don't blame on the dog.
Do not blame that
what happened. I just said what happened.
Oh, my God. This morning, it was like talking to the Riddler. Now, have a good birthday.
No, it's not talking to the Riddler. It was like talking to someone who's just not heard words before.
No. You said,
go on.
When do you want to do the podcast? Lissy's just fallen asleep. Lol.
Yeah.
What am I meant to
do with that?
To respond back to that? Yeah.
Okay, no, stop talking now. No, I'll just say, how do you explain? What time do you do on the podcast? Lissy just fallen asleep, lol. Yeah? How could you possibly answer those questions? What time do you want to do the podcast? I don't. It's such a riddle. What does that one mean?
But it's not, because it's loaded with you. You're like, Lizzie's just fallen asleep. So that
Just
even
giving you
means
context.
that you need to do it as soon as possible, or you can't do it until she's awake.
Yeah.
There is like,
No,
I don't know. I don't know what Lizzie's asleep means in context of when we have to do the podcast. It's
irrelevant in your context. What I'm saying is, what time do you want to do the pod? That's the question. That's the question I'm expecting. That's the one I want the answer to. I'm just giving you some context of what's going on in my life around it. Instead, I should have just... No, you're right, because that's why you should cut friends out, isn't it? I guess it's because they're not to the point. I should have said, what time do you want to do the podcast, pal? And then you would have said, 6, pal. And then I would have said, thanks. See you then, pal. And
perfect. Sometimes when... But you weren't... Can you be 100% honest that you just weren't putting the Lissy thing in for what you were doing right now? It was to schedule the podcast around that or before that. That was the
context was to give you
the two things went together.
To an extent, maybe, but I was really just asking you a question, and I was trying to give you a little like booster to try and get you up there, just to kind of, this is what's going on in my world.
Just say that.
I shouldn't have said anything. I should have said, what time do you want to do the podcast? I might have time now.
Perfect.
That would have been great, wouldn't it? And do you know what you would answer with? It's too early for me. I need to set up. I need to go out. I need to do a walk. I need to go suckle on the teeth for a second to get some energy.
Yeah. If my Mac wasn't at his, then I would have done it before.
Yeah. But instead you responded with, how do I answer that, or something like along those lines. And I said, what time do you want to do it? So basically, I'm asking for a time of day. There's 24 hours in a day. You need to pick one of them. And then I said, Lissy's fallen asleep. That's what just happened. She woke up early and now she's fallen back asleep.
But my life is a lot less intense or structured than yours. So I can actually fit things around where you have to move heaven and earth. Yeah. Just to...
Well, today, I was up very early. There was meals. The meals had to be prepared. And then... the dog went on a John Wick-esque rampage this morning. And then now I found some time. I'm not saying I'm busy like Joe. I'm just saying I was just giving you context of my life.
Okay.
But I won't in the future. I know I need to be more cut and dry. If I'm, do you want to hang out? I'll say, Bruno, shall we meet? And when you say when, I should say 6:30. And that's it. And then we cease communications until we meet.
Yeah, if you do want to do something or whatever, just be, Yeah. Let's not. Hey, we've been friends for so long. Let's not foot around each other.
Yeah, right? No, you're right. But what I'm saying is, I couldn't be more direct than what time you wanted the podcast. I guess I should have been more direct somehow. Maybe capitals.
No, because it was on the time of the podcast was technically on you more than it was on me.
In the end, it wasn't, though, was it really?
Technically, no, it didn't. But
and it was. Do you know the best way? He said, 11:30. And then what time did we start? Tell the people what time we started.
11:45. Hey,
it's not 11:30. Just in future, just could you actually tell? Because that 15 minutes, I could have done so much stuff. And this is why we've got to cut certain people out of your life. Because that 15 minutes, I could have changed the world.
You could have.
Instead, I just sat here and watched Parkway Drive.
Hey, that's a good alternative.
Gave me a nice 15 minutes. Yeah.
On that note, this has been the Peppercorn Boys. And Scott, happy birthday.
I appreciate that.
Let the people say